Bullshit.
It's the No BS Marketing Show. I'm your host, Dave Mastovich. Our guests today are Alec, Brevin, and Carter Mastovich for our 100th episode. The No BS Show is brought to you by Audible.com. Get a free audiobook download and 30-day free trial at audibletrial.com/NoBS. Try a book like 7 Seconds or Less by Jack McCallum. His season on the bench with the running, gunning Phoenix Suns of the early 2000s with Steve Nash. Since we're basketball guys, thought I'd bring that one up as your Audible book you can get for free. You can download it for free at audibletrial.com/NoBS. Over 180,000 titles to choose from for your iPhone, Android, Kindle, or MP3 player. Again, I mentioned our guests are my sons, Alec, Brevin, and Carter. To celebrate the 100th episode of the No BS Show, my brother Mike was on the first episode. So we try to have some symbolism here. All three of my sons have been involved with Mass Solutions at some level, either through Mass Solutions AAU basketball or done some project work when we put them to work at slave labor wages. So they know a little bit about messaging. And we talked a little bit in that first episode about Ryan Lochte, Hope Solo, Cam Newton, and their messaging. What I want to do now is talk about a basketball analogy. And last week, there you go, there's a horn. We let that on the show. Last week, had a special event. Who wants to tell about the special event? Carter, jump in and talk about what the special event was last week. When we got in a car and we drove.
Oh, my fault. We went to Cleveland to get a picture with the Larry O'Brien trophy.
Which is, for our listeners that aren't big basketball fans, what is that trophy?
The trophy when you win the NBA Finals. The championship.
And the Cleveland Cavaliers won?
Yeah.
So what was it like getting that picture?
It was cool. Interesting.
So we're going to talk about LeBron and Steph Curry first from a messaging and image standpoint. And Brev can start us off because he was talking in episode 1 about how Adidas was making inroads on Under Armour, who was making inroads on Nike. So LeBron or Steph from a messaging and image standpoint, give your take on both.
I feel like it's hard to choose because LeBron's probably the best player, but Steph is more you can relate to. He's smaller and he's like a point guard. There's a lot of kids out there that are like real small and like aren't 6'7" and African American and can dunk a ball so easily. So like I feel like it's hard, but I choose LeBron. I don't know if I had to choose between him or Steph. Like if I had to choose my company, I'd choose LeBron.
So you think he has a stronger brand and a
stronger image and brand because he's always doing the right thing because he knows he's smart.
Is he your favorite player?
Yeah, because Kobe's gone.
Yeah, Brev was a big Kobe guy from the time Brev was like 5 or 6 years old. So you think he's the best player in the game right now?
I agree.
Second best all time. Okay, so
yeah.
You think he's second best? I'm not sure. I'm not sure he's at second best. If he gets
another title, he gets number 1, but
I'm not sure he's even number 2 yet. Who wants to go second?
I can go. I was going to say probably LeBron for sure because whether you really watch basketball or not, the average Joe might be able to distinct LeBron from anyone else. You know, you could see LeBron and you know that's LeBron and he's probably the biggest figure in sports. But if you just see Steph Curry on the news or something and you don't really know the backstory, he is more relatable and everything, like Brev said, because he's like our size and everything, more of an average guy. But someone that might be older, maybe uneducated about the sport, they might not even be able to tell you who that guy is.
It's a good point.
I feel that like with LeBron, he's been in Miami, he's been in Cleveland, and anywhere he goes.
He's been on the movies. Follows. He's had movies.
Yeah, he has his own TV show now, and he has his own restaurants and stuff. So I feel that no matter what he does, he's probably going to get it done and get it done the right way.
And interestingly, it shows you how big NBA players are. We're talking about how Steph looks like the average guy. He's 6'3", but in comparison to a 6'8" LeBron or a 7-foot Dwight Howard or 6'11" Kevin Durant, he looks like an average guy. So Carter, what's your take?
Like Alec said, if you want to start a business, everybody knows who LeBron is. And not everybody, but most people know who LeBron is.
Good. Do you guys want to talk any more basketball?
I'm on the show. We can talk about whatever.
The No BS Marketing Podcast with Dave Mastovich is brought to you by Mass Solutions. Put our 3-step No BS process to work for you. Visit masssolutions.biz today to take your marketing to another level. It's all about bold solutions, no BS.
So I told you guys I was going to force you to talk about college messaging, college marketing, because both of you are receiving a lot of stuff in the mail right now, Alec and Brevin, with related to college, and you've gone through that experience of colleges trying to recruit you to get you to visit. What's your take on when they've done it well and when they haven't done it well?
I feel like it's better whenever you send me an email. I actually look at it more instead of the old, you send like a little thing in the like mail, like one of those little cards, like what I get sometimes, but I don't even really read those. Whenever they send me an email, I like go on and they like have little links where you can go and look. Like, for example, like Waynesburg or somebody else like that who just did it like a couple days ago. It gives me easier like access to like look into my phone, like I can like go see like what the college looks like and stuff. And like when you send me a little piece of paper, I like see a picture of what they want me to see. I can go like do my own research if I want to actually even consider the college. You know what I mean?
It's good insight. I didn't realize you read emails because you don't read mine.
I have a school email
that you never gave me because you don't want me.
It's illegal. You can't get on into it.
Okay, that was insightful. It was good. Carter, what are your? Oh, I'm sorry, Alec. Carter's not being recruited for college yet, thankfully.
I would probably agree with what Brev's saying for the most part, except I feel like for me, getting something that's like a hard copy in the mail is probably more meaningful to me than probably getting an email, because I agree with what he's saying, that you can look up and that you can find what you really want instead of seeing what they want to see. But, you know, they probably send those emails to so many people, and not that they don't send the letters out to so many people as well, but whenever you actually get something in the mail, you can hold it, you can think about it, look it over, and then go online and look what you really need. But for me, I feel like the messaging standpoint is whenever I get those paper ones, say for maybe every 5 letters I would get maybe a month or something, I'd say at least 2 of those were probably spelled with my name wrong. So for me, that's usually like an instant. I don't even have any interest there anymore.
Which first or last name? Because you get both.
So I feel like most colleges, they just feel like my name is Alex. Just about every letter I get says Alex on it. So.
And for our listeners, Alec, Brevin, Carter, 3 names that Darlene, I think, were a little bit unique. Well, I can still see Darlene and I at every first time Alec met someone, they would call you Alex, and we'd always go Alec with a C. And then Brevin, it gets even more butchered, doesn't it, Brev?
Yeah.
Like at school when you had new teachers in the early years.
It's surprisingly not that bad with the teachers, honestly. Like if you're not stupid, you can read it and like easily like spell it out. But I mean, whenever I get a sub, like if the dude's like a guy that's a little clown, like if he says my name wrong, I just don't answer. And then I'm like, yeah, it's me. And then like I tell him my name, and it usually gets a little chuckle around people, but
that reminds me of the
doesn't really happen. Doesn't really happen with like my main teachers, you know, at school and stuff. And then like when I first meet people, maybe they don't hear it at first, but then people usually remember it because like it's a different name, you know.
I just am amazed at how I'll be talking to someone, and I'll say, well, my son Brevin did this and that, and because I know it's unique, I'll force it in a second time, and I'll say, and Brevin is, let's say it was usually Brevin's quarterback for the football team, whatever, and then the guy would go,
terrible.
Well, Brandon can come here and do this, and we could help Brandon with that. And I go, well, who's Brandon? Like, how did you get that from that?
Yeah.
So,
I know what you mean, yeah.
You know what I mean? And then Carter, anyone ever have struggled with your name?
Yeah, a lot of people call me Connor when they first meet me.
Carly.
Yeah, that was my girl name, Carly, if I was a girl. That's my parents told me that. Brev makes that.
No, me and Alex said that.
No, that's actually true. He was going to be Carly because we had the A and the B, and Darlene and I are a D.
Carly Rae Jepsen.
Yeah. Okay, so it's going downhill fast.
Wow.
So the college marketing, we talked about the college marketing.
Yeah, we're good. I already said that.
All right, stop it. It's the 100th episode of the No BS Marketing Show. I'm your host, Dave Mastovich. I have my 3 sons, Alec, Brevin, and Carter on the show. Guys, what works for music acts nowadays to market to young people? How do they get you to buy their music, their shows, their merchandise? Because that industry has changed so dramatically in the last 15 years. So what works for both of you? But before you answer, I want to say this too. We talk about hitting the bullseye here, and you saw Alec and Brevin had a different opinion on the college marketing, and they're both correct because they're both different. And we as marketers have to segment to like-minded groups and do different things for different like-minded groups. So there's a big segment like Brev that likes to get it electronically. There's a big segment like Alec that likes to get it and hold it in their hand. The right decision is to try to segment both groups and reach them with multiple marketing touches, knowing that none of us responds to every type of marketing touch. None of us sees every billboard, hears every ad, goes on YouTube to watch the video, gets the tactile piece in the mail and looks at the email. You have to have multiple marketing touches that are designed to reach the different segments. Like Alec and Brevin are both different, so you're both correct on the college front. Let's keep going down that path on music acts nowadays. How do people in music and entertainment market to young people? What gets you, Alec, to buy music or to go to a show or to buy merchandise?
Well, to start with merchandise, I feel like merchandise is probably more or less a fraction of the sales probably come from the actual concert. I know that people will probably buy merchandise online and everything, but I don't really think I've ever done that. So if I were to buy merchandise, I would probably buy it at just the concert. But to actually get like the promotion out about maybe a tour or maybe some music that's being released is probably the best way, is I would assume, is social media. You know, Drake may not follow me, but Drake is about to be followed by me and probably everyone else in the room if we choose to follow him. So if we do that, we really can kind of see what he's doing most of the time. And with that, he can find a pretty easy way to get out to his fans and just kind of get the word out very quickly instead of just filing a campaign or something or building a whole tour around it, whenever you can just post a simple picture on a website and get just as many people to be intrigued by it.
Brev?
I feel like they don't have to sell me on, like, to buy the album. I'm getting the album either way, either Apple Music or Spotify. Like, from my generation, everybody has at least one of those, Apple Music or Spotify. In Apple Music, you get it maybe a day or two earlier. So, like, I'm already going to get it. And it's just, it matters if the artist or the group uses the social media correctly with, like, Snapchat, Instagram, or Twitter. Like, just put on, like, a little link of, like, the track list, and I'll definitely be able to look at it in a second. And it's easier to do that than, like, have a whole campaign, like Alex said. So I feel like if you use social media, that's the only thing you got to do for us to buy your music.
Carter, you're younger than them by a few years, so how is the even younger segment consuming music and finding music?
Well, for me, for finding music, I kind of just go off of Alec and Brevin because they're older and I like their music, I guess. But just shuffling through music and finding songs that I like.
So you guys are influencing Carter. See, you got to remember that. You have an obligation to not be complete idiots. All right, so let's talk about social media then. Let's talk about social media. So let's do a little bit of the bullseye. Okay, we'll do some of the bullseye. So you guys are familiar with Hit the Bullseye. It's a segment that's been on some of the episodes of the show where I pick two marketing or messaging classics and you choose, but you explain why. So we're going to start off and we'll go around for each of you to pick the answer to this and why. So we'll start with you, Brev. Progressive's Flow or Jake from State Farm?
Progressive, because Coach Gilmore. Simple as that.
Yeah, Coach Dean Gilmore works at Progressive and drives his Progressive vehicle around. Carter, Progressive's Flow or Jake from State Farm?
Progressive's Flow.
Why?
Because when I was younger, I used to think, like, is Progressive Flow like a real person when I was younger? That was a weird question now that I think that, but I asked Mr. Gilmore, and he laughed about it and told me a little bit about it.
Yeah, I remember that. You were probably about 7 or 8 years old, and you said, Mr. Gilmore, do you know Flo? Alec, Progressive Flow or Jake from State Farm? Since you know Jake Lewis, you might give us the Jake from State Farm.
Well, yes, I do know Jake Lewis, great kid, but I will say that Jake from State Farm wouldn't be in existence if there wasn't Flo first, because I would find it hard to believe that State Farm would just come up with the character to use the same kind of approach that Flo does.
And he is a real Jake that does work for State Farm. All right, here's the important one. We're going to learn a little bit about social media. I want you to tell me about which one you like better first. Then we'll go around the table, then we'll come back, and which one you didn't like as much. You'll still tell us how you use it or what you think of it. So Twitter or Snapchat? Alec, first.
For me, I'd probably say Snapchat's more fun to utilize, but Twitter is probably the best source of news nowadays.
Why is Snapchat more fun?
Just because, Twitter, you can be followed by anyone and you can follow anyone, so I would assume the spam rates are pretty high. But on Snapchat, you have a closer-knit group of people within your phone that pretty much you would have to know everyone at Snapchat. You really wouldn't add someone on Snapchat you've never met unless they're a celebrity. So I feel like Snapchat's a better way to interact with the people that mean something to me.
So tell me how you use Snapchat. Like how many people roughly do you have on Snapchat?
I don't know. Brev can probably give an estimate too, but I have like maybe 100. And
Brev?
I use Snapchat a lot. I have like 245. I'm a Snapchat guy because I like seeing what's like going on with the stories. I also like looking at Twitter because like it's cool to see like those videos and like the tweets and stuff. But I don't know. Those are like my main like friends that are on Snapchat, and then like the celebrities I actually do like really like are on there like Snapchat. If that makes any sense.
So you guys both use Snapchat for both updates from friends, but also updates.
Yeah,
from
and you can interact with
celebrity.
people. Yeah, like I Snapchat people like to talk. Like it's like texting, but like you can use like your face. I feel like Snapchat's like a really good company. They're smart recently with those filters. Those filters are really like I know everybody uses those. So like
yeah, he's right. That's a really good marketing technique they use. But
like I feel like Snapchat's gonna be around.
Teach us.
It's not that hard. I mean, you put your finger like on your face, and like there's daily free filters that they like put on you. Like if there's a football game or something, you get like a Steelers like face or something. It's I don't know. You just got to look at it for yourself. It's hard to explain.
Yeah, I was thinking that, but I was talking more. I thought we were talking about the locations.
Oh yeah, I was talking about the locations too, but I was saying that the face stuff.
Yeah, I think they're both pretty.
Talk about the locations.
Locations are cool too. Yeah.
Well, just you can take a snap anywhere, and it doesn't need to have a location on it. But you can choose by swiping through the filters or swiping through the phone, and it can put up like a marketing technique that the town uses, because we actually tried to use this at Century 3 Chevrolet with Rondell and I, but you can essentially just put a geo filter on there and you put your logo down at the bottom, and then it just is designed just for that location. So, I mean, towns do it. Like Pittsburgh has multiple filters. Bethel Park is a filter.
High schools have them too. It's pretty cool. Like good restaurants, like Chipotle has one. I feel like that would get like people to go there. Just a reason, honestly. I'm serious.
Yeah,
like,
it just pretty much gets the word out that you're somewhere, not at home.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Carter, do you use Snapchat?
Yeah, I use Snapchat. I use Twitter too, but I'll use Twitter when I'm older.
So what do you use Snapchat for?
Just to post things.
Text people, like
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people use it to communicate.
it's not that hard. I mean, you
I'm
take
not
a
saying
picture.
it's hard. I'm just trying to hear
There's
how
like
you
only
guys
a
do
couple
it.
reasons to use it.
I'm just trying to learn. Just trying to get our audience to hear how
What's your Snapchat?
three young dudes
Is it
use
Maz the
Snapchat.
DJ?
Wait, Dad, didn't you like have Snapchat?
I had it first just before you guys. I showed it to Alec. and
No,
Brevin.
I had it before you because you added me and I snapped you before.
No, I read an article. I'm not bragging because I didn't use it at all, but I read a blog about it like 2 weeks after it came out. Do you remember this, Alec? It was on Business Week.
I don't remember.
And I showed it to you guys, and you guys, none of us knew where it was going to go at that time. And I stopped bothering with it because I didn't, I just looked at it initially, and you guys kept messing with it. And what?
Yeah, I don't know what year that was. I remember whenever distinctly I was a freshman at Luke's house and it was just coming out. I think he might have told us about it. We saw it on the App Store. We were like really young, and it was me, Dan, and Luke, and we were sitting there like, this is stupid. Why would anyone use this? And I just made one and didn't use it for like 2 or 3 years. And then we came back to it. And when we were like upperclassmen, we were like, wow, everyone's using this now. This is what it was. So.
Yep. Aaron Rodgers or Cam Newton, two quarterbacks in the NFL. Carter, Aaron Rodgers or Cam Newton?
I like Cam Newton because I like his personality. he gives he'll score a touchdown, he'll dance, celebrate, but then he'll give the football to his fans. And I read an article about it, and he gets fined about $5,000 every single time he gives a football out, and he does it about every game. So that's a lot.
Alec?
Well, yeah, I would agree with Carter. That's a lot, but I don't know if that's really a problem to him. He probably gladly gives out that money.
Yeah.
Who do you like better?
I'd probably say as an athlete, I'd definitely take Cam Newton. But if we're talking straight quarterbacks, I'd have to say that Aaron Rodgers is probably a better quarterback than Cam Newton. But Cam Newton can essentially do it all. He'll run away, and there's no way Aaron Rodgers is going to run away from someone about to try and tackle him. But Cam Newton can also make the throws too, so it makes him a very good athlete.
Brev?
I'd say Aaron Rodgers because he won me didn't win me my fantasy football league, but he got me to the Final Four. So I always will choose him over somebody. And then you can't go against Cam Newton with the swag. I mean, he basically invented the dab, and like every person has done it. It's stupid, but I mean, he started that. So I mean, it's hard. I mean, I'd say Aaron Rodgers because he's a better QB. He's number one in the league.
All right, here comes 2 TV shows, Family Guy or The Simpsons.
They're signaling for me to go first, so I assume we're going to say Family Guy. I'm not a big fan of The Simpsons. I find it a little more pointless. Even though they're kind of based on the same thing, it's kind of hard to relate to some people that are strictly yellow and just running around a make-believe town, where Family Guy provides a little more reality and some real-life examples.
Brev?
I watch both. I feel like Family Guy is funnier, but The Simpsons are more what's the word? Controversial. I feel like that's a good word because Family Guy exceeds boundaries, and The Simpsons are still PG-13. They don't swear at all. So I feel like that it can relate to a bigger audience. But I mean, Family Guy is one of the funniest shows. So I'd say Family Guy.
Carter?
I'd also say Family Guy because of what Alex said too.
All right. Drake or Future?
Future. Because he's really blown up, and Drake's more of if you're broke up with a girlfriend and you need to listen to somebody. Honestly, Future's if you want to party and have a good time. I mean, Drake can still do that, but I'd say Future. I'll be different because they're probably going to say Drake.
All right.
Yeah, I'd kind of build upon what Brev said, except I'd probably have to go with Drake because it'd be harder to view Future as an actor, while Drake was an actor for the start of his career. You know, he was great on every episode of Saturday Night Live, I feel like. I think they're all very funny, but he had that long stint on Degrassi where he made a lot of money before rap and everything, so he was clearly a pretty decent actor. So I would just kind of find it hard to believe Future to act, even though he makes great music.
Yeah, I'd say Drake.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Sorry, Brad.
All right.
Geico's gecko or the Aflac duck?
I'd say they're both annoying, but I'd go with Geico because it's a little less annoying than a duck screaming that Aflac or whatever.
Aflac.
Yeah.
Car?
I'd say Geico because it's pretty cool. I don't know.
The gecko. You like
Yeah.
the gecko?
Yeah.
Alec?
Yeah, I'd kind of say what Brev said. I personally feel like the Aflac is probably the worst marketing technique ever. You know when the commercial's on, yes, but it's certainly annoying for the whole 30-second stint because it just sounds like you're at the park. But I feel like a lot of people would have to like the gecko better. Even our mom, for example, a lot of people see him as a cute little guy that's walking around and he's not even real, but he's pretty cool.
It's the No BS Marketing Show. I'm your host, Dave Mastovich. For our special 100th episode, our guests today are Alec, Brevin, and Carter Mastovich, my sons. Darlene and I are very proud of all 3 of you. You drive us crazy, but that's what we signed up for. And the first ever No BS Show episode had my brother, Hall of Fame sports writer Mike Mastovich, so there was symbolism there. And now for the 100th episode of the No BS Show, I have my sons on. So we have a couple more major areas as Brev gets up. He's getting loose. A couple more major areas to cover. What is it like growing up around a marketing company like Mass Solutions?
I guess I'd say it's you get to learn a lot of stuff because I get to learn a lot of stuff from you, and it's pretty cool, I guess.
Alec?
A very vague answer from Carter, I'd say, but I feel that, it has its pluses and minuses, not to give you a break, but, it's very hard on you as the CEO. If you don't show up to play, there's a lot of us that feel the raft of it, so we kind of count on you and everything, which is probably hard on you, but I'd say that it's very fast-paced and you get to learn a lot, but, it's not easy for our family any day either, so it's got its trade-offs.
Brev?
It's been cool, I guess, to grow up around it because, to come down to Pittsburgh just to see your office is like a cool thing to do, and then that's just one thing. And then I feel like that you like have your own business, you can be flexible, so you've always been there to see my stuff, and I feel like that's better than like any job that you could have done.
Thank you.
To, like, be around us, So that's like my input.
It afforded me the opportunity to go to like things like every Halloween at the elementary. I was like the only dad. I went to every single one for all three of you, and then got to coach you because of the flexibility of Mass Solutions. So now you guys don't know a tremendous amount about the No BS show. You might have listened here and there just to be nice. But what do you think so far about being on the show, and what did you think coming in that it would be like? Is it like what you thought it would be?
I've been on the show once before, so I know a little bit about it, but it's really fun to be on the show.
That's right, Carter. You were on the show. I think you might have been around the 25th episode. You were another symbolic episode. Good.
Yeah, I'd say it's pretty fun, definitely, to be on it and everything. It's a nice honor, but I'm kind of amazed it already hit 100 episodes with the guests and everything. I like it. I couldn't even tell you all the guests. It's kind of amazing.
It's been fun. It's been a lot of cool guests.
I like the show. I'm not a huge fan about talking on the mic like this, but I like the show overall. If you get a good guest on, it's a good show, like Mr. Rodriguez.
Yeah.
That's my favorite show.
Tommy Rod.
Hell of a guy.
Tommy Rodriguez coached both Alec and Brevin and Carter, all three of them. And he was on the show, and his show was probably the funniest one because he and I just were joking the entire time. But Brev, you sound amazing on the radio. You shouldn't be nervous. You're doing great. All three of you sound excellent. Alec and Carter are sharing a mic because I thought Brev wouldn't talk if I didn't put him in front of the mic. So I gave him his own mic. And that's why sometimes Alec and Brevin sound a little far off. You've been awesome. You've been right on. You sound like a radio guy, Brev.
Okay. Thank you.
Did you guys think
you want me to answer that?
Did you guys think he'd be,
I agree with what he says, yeah.
Do you think he'd rock it?
Yeah, I could see him doing like a little radio show talking about sports or something. Probably not like anything else. He likes sports, so I feel like he could talk all day about that.
Yeah.
We don't need to be talking about that. It's fine. Let's go.
Okay. All right. So it's the No BS marketing show. We talked a lot about, we did the Hit the Bullseye. We talked about the shows you like on TV. We talked about the No BS show. We talked about growing up around a marketing company. We talked about the music acts, the college marketing and messaging. What's a tool that you guys use to do your everyday life, whether it's, you mentioned Snapchat, but is there any other tool that you would say to the audience, somebody your age, that you use something that you think could help them organize their day, communicate with friends, do something fun, buy things easier? Alec, you've been always pretty ingenious with a lot of different businesses you've had over the years. Is there something you want to tell somebody else about that? Carter, you've been really diligent about basketball techniques and things like that. And Brev, you've been involved with basketball, plus you've also been really strong socially throughout your life. Is there anything you three want to mention that's a tool? Because I often put the guests on the spot and say, tell me about a tool that they think could help any of our listeners.
For me, I'd like to say that I do a lot in my life. I have to go to school, I go to work, I still try to do my homework and balance a social life. So for me, I feel like one tool that everyone my age, or essentially anyone, could use is it's pretty much an agenda, and it lets you track your tasks and objectives. It's called Microsoft OneNote. It's part of Microsoft Office 365, and I use it on my phone, and it's one synchronized product that you can use across your iPhone, across your MacBook, and pretty much whatever other devices you have, and all your objectives and tasks are all in one place, remaining up to date, reminding you what you have to do.
So that helps you to be able to juggle, because I know one of the things that you do that I tell your mom that I never could have done at that age is you get up at 8 a.m. on a Saturday to go to work, but you also juggle the schedule of the class and the studying and plus some work you do with Mass and Mike Gaddy. So you do that all through, what was it again, Microsoft One?
Microsoft OneNote. It's a purple app on the App Store.
Okay. All right. Brev, what do you think?
I don't know.
You want me to pass and go to Carter?
I'll think here. I don't know how many people are listening that are like high schoolers, but I feel like I'm like really into this SAT prep right now because I took it before and I didn't study as much and my score wasn't bad, but this time I've been studying a lot. So I feel like if anyone that's like young adult that has to take the SAT, definitely like you got to do some, I got this big ass book and it's good to like get you warmed up for it. I mean, if you don't do it and you just come in unprepared, you're going to do terrible, and you need it for your future. So like, that's what I'm saying. I doubt that many people were listening, but I can't even think of anything on the top of my head. So
that's okay. That's very, very honest and fair, and it's timely and shows your dedication. Carter, what do you got?
Like Alec, but I mean, I use calendar and I just put stuff in there, like for basketball and other things that I have to do.
You track your shooting in there?
Yeah, in notes I do, actually.
Do you?
I use notes, yeah.
How many shots did you get up today?
500.
Nice. 500 shots.
Good stuff.
Brev gives me the look.
Nice.
Yeah, what do you want me to say?
I don't know.
It's the No BS Marketing Show. I'm your host, Dave Mastovich. And the show is brought to you by Audible.com. Get your free Audible trial at audibletrial.com/nobs. That's audibletrial.com/nobs, where you can try 180,000 titles to choose from for your iPhone, Android, Kindle, or MP3 player. It's the special 100th episode of the No BS Marketing Show. We've had some amazing guests ranging from Hall of Fame sports writer Mike Mastovich. We had a former Secretary of Education of the state of Pennsylvania, Dr. Jerry Zahorchak. We have one of the most successful up-and-coming solid CEOs in the region in Mark Marmo of Deep Well Services. We've had Dan Corser and Eric Guy, both of Predictive Synergistic Systems. We've had Greg Joseph of the Clarks. We've had Steve Tanzilli, the Dean of the Point Park School of Business. And the list could go on and on. You can catch that list at masssolutions.biz and click on the podcast button so you can see all these great guests we've had. We've been very fortunate and blessed to have such great guests. Suzanne Mayer has done a great job of helping to recruit guests and serve as a producer on the show, as far as making sure that the show is tight and tweaking it over the course of these 100 episodes to where we think we've got it to where we're comfortable with it, but we're always going to try to evolve. I've really enjoyed doing it. We've had people like Kieran O'Day and Dave Sweet who came on the show, met us, and then after that had the confidence to try Mass Solutions, and they've stuck with us. We've got a lot of great upcoming guests. Dave Watson, the CEO of Phoenix Rehab, is coming up. Mike Duckworth of Duckworth and Associates. We've just got a lot of potential here with people trying to showcase the business leaders, because it's all about leadership and communication, and we want to showcase the business leaders throughout Western Pennsylvania that maybe people don't hear as much about. And we hear what their successes are. We hear what their obstacles have been. We learn the tools and tips that they would recommend to the listeners. We ask them to be vulnerable and describe when they were BSers. We talk about their mentors and their first job. And it really does seem to help our listeners. We've got a lot of great feedback. So I want to go around the table real quick with each one of you with your final statement and your thoughts about the show and what your comments are. Anything else you want to say? It can be anything. Anything else you want to say to close it out. We'll go in reverse order and we'll put Carter on the spot first. Carter, any last words for your second appearance on the No BS Marketing Show?
I enjoyed it, and I hope the listeners enjoy it too.
Brev.
Fun show. I'm probably going to listen next week or next show. And thanks for listening to me. I hope I don't sound too bad on here.
Alec?
Yeah, it was a fun Monday afternoon. You know, it's hard to find something cool to do on a Monday, so thanks for bringing us all in here. I would recommend this show to everyone. I would hope everyone would watch it and tune in next week.
Thank you all three for being here. And to our listeners, thanks for joining us for the No BS Marketing Show. Visit masssolutions.biz/bold solutions for show notes, plus additional marketing and messaging resources. Are you signed up for light reading? You'll receive valuable strategies every other week to improve your marketing and transform your message. It really is light, intended to be read in 2 minutes or less, and it just might trigger bright ideas for you. To sign up, visit masssolutions.biz. Remember, ask yourself, what's the big idea? And build your story around the answer. It's all about bold solutions.